Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. Today, I want to talk about recruiting, about attracting talent to your company, and specifically how to attract the talent that you think might even be beyond your reach. The person who's out there maybe crushing it somewhere else. The one you look at and think, hey, I can never land him or her. See, I've recruited a lot of people over the course of my career. And here's the biggest mistake that I think I see entrepreneurs and leaders make. What they try to do is sell. They try to pitch their company, or they try to pitch their culture, or they just try to pitch themselves. And the whole conversation ends up being about them. When the reality is, it should be all about the person sitting across the table. Because here is the truth about recruiting. Recruiting is not convincing someone to join you. Recruiting is showing someone that joining you is the fastest path to where they already want to go. They want to see an expedited path to wherever it is that they want to go. So if you don't show them a path that accelerates the direction or accelerates the pace to which they get to where they want to go with you, then without you, they won't ever join. So I want to give you a framework that I use. It's just 4 letters. It's GOVP. Goal, obstacles, value, plan. Goal, obstacles, value, plan. Let's walk through each one of these, okay? G stands for goal. This is where we start always. What are you aiming to achieve? What are you aiming to achieve this year, maybe over the next 3 years or 5 years, maybe just over your career? Ask that question of the person you're sitting down with. And then just be quiet. Even take notes. See, most talented people are rarely asked this question. Their current company probably isn't asking them about it. Their boss or their team lead isn't asking them about it. So when you sit across from someone and you genuinely ask, hey, where are you trying to go? What are you really trying to achieve? You're already separating yourself from probably every other conversation that they're having. So as an example, you're talking to a salesperson and they sell widgets. Right now they're selling 10 widgets a year. You ask about their goal, they say, I want to sell 24 widgets over the next year. Now you know exactly what this conversation is about. It's not about your company. It's about their 24 in this example. That was G. O, obstacles. This is the next question. Hey, what's standing between you and that goal? What's standing between you and that goal? What do you have to overcome? Or what could potentially disrupt you from getting from where you're at today, your current reality, to where it is you want to go? Now just let them talk. Now going back to our salesperson example, maybe there's no clear plan to get from 10 to 24 widgets. Maybe they have no accountability. Maybe there's no one checking in, or they don't have the right environment or the right peers. Maybe they don't have systems. Maybe they lack structure. Maybe they don't have a lead generation mechanism to get them from 10 to 24, and they're just winging it. Well, winging it is what got them to 10. Winging it is not going to get them to 24. So they usually already know their obstacles. They just maybe never said them out loud until you started prompting. And when they name the obstacles to you, something really interesting happens. Something rather powerful, I think, happens. You're no longer a recruiter in this particular case. You're now the person helping them get honest about what's standing in their way. You're holding the mirror up to them, and they're seeing the gap between where they're at and where they want to go. Now, the V, that is value. And this is the most important letter in the framework. What can your company offer that helps them overcome those obstacles and reach their goal? Is it tools, leadership, systems, mentorship, community, training, accountability, a proven model? I don't know which one's going to apply here, but what do you have in your tool bag that can help them overcome the obstacles and get from their present reality to where it is they want to go? Now, back to our example, let's say they're missing a plan. They don't know how to get from 10 to 24. Well, you have a proven system and you can show them that. Or maybe they're missing accountability. They don't have the right peer structure around them. You have leadership that checks in with them every week, coaches them one-to-one, or has group coaching, or you have high performers on your team who are just going to sit next to them and maybe they rub off. Maybe this salesperson's missing structure. Well, you have tools and models that are constructed to support their mission. Every obstacle they named, you're matching with something real in the perfect scenario. But you have to listen closely, and here's the hard part. If you don't have the tools in the tool belt, you can't help anyone solve anything. In other words, you can't fake value. They're going to see right through it. Talented people see through that sort of thing instantly. So before you ever sit down to recruit, you have to get really clear on what value you're offering, specifically how you're going to articulate it. You have to do the work sometimes of building that value before you even go about offering it. See, the best recruiters, I don't think, are the ones that are the best salespeople or the best talkers. They're the ones who built the deepest value proposition, the deepest tool belt. Now, the final letter P is plan. Now you get to bring it all together. You say to the person across the table, let's build a plan. Your goal, the obstacles that you're going to encounter, our value, and here's how we get you from 10 widgets to 24. Notice what just happened there. I never pitched anything. I certainly didn't beg. I never tried to convince anybody of anything. I just asked about their goal, surfaced their obstacles, matched real value to their real problems, and then I handed them a plan with their name on it. Now the question in their head isn't, should I join this company? What it should instead be is, why would I try to hit my goal without them? Why would I try to hit my goal without what Brian just provided to me? I think that's how you land talent beyond your reach. I think you bring people into your world this way, but especially those that might seem out of reach, not by selling harder, but coming up with better solutions. Now, mind you, I gave you an example of 10 widgets to 24 widgets. Don't always assume that people just want to sell more, make more money. That's, certainly top of the list. But many people want other things, like a sense of community, right? Like more leverage in their world so that they can have more free time and time with their family. Maybe they want to accumulate wealth. Whatever it is that they share with you as their goal, and you flesh out the obstacles, now you get to use your value and plug it in accordingly, help them develop a plan. So here's your action item for the week. Before your next recruiting conversation, I want you to audit your value proposition, audit your tool belt. Write down every piece of value that your company offers, tools and systems and mentorship, community, whatever it may be. And by the way, if you as the leader are a piece of that value, write it down. Nothing wrong with that. It's not super scalable, but maybe that's what you have to work with right now. Be honest. If the list is long, if you have lots of value, you're probably ready to run GOVP. If the list is short, okay, cool. You just found your real recruiting problem. And it's probably not the talent pool. You've got to build the value first and be able to articulate it with confidence. The talent follows after that. That's all I have for you today, the No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.